All of the MScope's commands are entered through the 12-button keypad on the control unit. The 2 up-down arrows are essentially single-function buttons. The other 10 buttons, labeled 0 through 9, are all multifunction buttons. Multifunction buttons are annotated with corresponding abbreviations. Turn the unit on by momentarily pushing the on-off numeral 0 button. The unit will power up and begin a self-diagnostic check. The LCD will display the title screen and the battery voltage during the self-check. The unit will check its 7 LED bar graph lights one at a time, starting with the first lowest green one, through the yellow ones, all the way up to the last highest red one. Then back down to the first green one again. After this check is completed, the bar graph display will enter its normal mode, continually indicating the strength of the received signal it is measuring. Some of this signal may be a representation of various types of electromagnetic noise and interference. During the self-check, the multicolored triple-zone alarm indicator LEDs, as well as the 2 multicolored ready indicator LEDs, will glow red momentarily. For first-time use, the unit will be set at factory preset settings, which prepare the unit for basic standardized operating conditions. Please note that these settings may not be appropriate for an operator's unique environment and specific security requirements. A thorough understanding of the MScope's operation, and most notably sensitivity settings, is required for effective, accurate metal detection. The volume rate and beep rate are adjustable. To adjust the volume, press the volume key, numeral 1, when the MScope is in normal operating mode. The unit will start beeping on its own. Use the up-down arrow keys to adjust the volume. To adjust the beep rate, press any button from numeral 1 to 6. Here is a chart of the beep rates. Press numeral 0 or wait 10 seconds to exit the volume menu. The MScope will retain your settings in memory when you turn the power off. You may exit any of the menu modes by pressing the exit key, numeral 0, or by waiting for the 10-second keyboard timeout, after which the MScope will automatically revert to normal operating mode. Hold the up-down arrow keys for more than 1 second for rapid increment or decrement. The sensitivity setting determines the unit's ability to detect metal objects. The higher the sensitivity, the more responsive it will be to relatively small metal concentrations. To adjust the sensitivity, press the sensitivity key, numeral 2. Use the up-down arrows to adjust the sensitivity setting to any number from 1 to 99. Sensitivity settings should be selected and adjusted based on your facility's particular security needs. The MScope will retain your sensitivity settings in memory when you turn the power off. It is possible to adjust the individual zone sensitivities to fine-tune the performance of the MScope. Once in the sensitivity menu, press any key other than the up, down, or 0 button. This will display the zone select screen. The 3 bar graphs and numerical reading represent the settings for the top bar graph, middle, the middle bar graph, and bottom, the bottom bar graph zones. These settings range from 0.00, which corresponds to a zone being completely ignored, to a value of 2.00, which corresponds to a zone having twice the sensitivity as set by the sensitivity menu. A value of 1.00 corresponds to a zone having an equal setting as the sensitivity menu. Numerals 2, 5, and 8 will set all zones to a value of 1. Numerals 1, 4, and 7 will lower the value of the upper, middle, and lower zones. Numerals 3, 6, and 9 will raise the value of the zones respectively. To adjust the LCD display contrast, press the contrast key, numeral 3, when the MScope is in normal operating mode. Use the up-down arrows to adjust the contrast. Contrast settings are automatically saved into memory, as well as are the user-adjusted settings. Press numeral 0 or wait 10 seconds to exit the contrast menu. To view the counter's contents, press the counter key, numeral 4, while the MScope is in normal operating mode. The LCD will display the 4 counters' names: people counter, metal target counter, speed violations counter, access alarm counter, and display the values stored in them. To reset the counters, press the numeral 1 key. Press numeral 0 or wait 10 seconds to exit the counter menu. To access the rate alarm menu, press the rate key, numeral 5, while the MScope is in normal operating mode. The LCD will show the rate alarm setting. There are 6 possible settings, including the disable rate alarm settings: 0.2 meters per second, 0.5 meters per second, 1.0 meters per second, 1.5 meters per second, 2.0 meters per second, and disabled. All rates are expressed in meters per second. Use the up-down arrows to adjust the rate alarm setting. Press numeral 0 or wait 10 seconds to exit the rate alarm menu. If the rate alarm is not set to disabled, a subject taking too long, more than 7.5 seconds, to exit the MScope will also cause a speed violation. If the subject exceeds the MScope selected speed limit, the LCD displays speed violation. The audio alert sounds, the zone lights flash red, and the bar graph and ready LEDs flash several times. These events get logged in the system's internal counters. Access to adjustable parameters such as sensitivity and rate alarm settings and to the statistics counters may be password protected using the features found on the Access menu. Pressing the down arrow key while the MScope is in normal mode opens the Access menu. If the Access feature is enabled, meaning the system is currently under password protection, the LCD screen will prompt you to enter the current access code. The MScope will respond to an incorrect access code entry by displaying code mismatched. After each unsuccessful attempt, the MScope will display access denied, and the event will be logged in the statistics counter under the access alarm counter heading. There are locations for storing 4 different access codes for use by different individuals. The MScope's default access code is 01. The default access code will remain 01 until it is changed by a user. Location 1 is the Master 1 access code location. Whenever the MScope is password protected by Access Enable, a master level password is needed to change the sensitivity level, access the counter menu, change the rate alarm setting, edit the access codes, and change or access presets. User-level access codes allow changes to be made to the volume and contrast. No access code is needed to turn the unit on or off. When you open the Access menu with a master-level code, you can choose between Access Enabled and Access Disabled by pressing the numeral 5 key. Editing the Access menu is the way to change access codes and enable or disable the access protection feature. To change an access code, open the Edit Access menu and then press the numeral key corresponding to the code location you wish to change. For example, press numeral 1 to change the Master 1 access code. Similarly, press the numeral 2 key to change the User 2 access code, etc. This will open the Reset Access Code screen. Enter the new code. The code can be of any length from 1 through 10 digits long. If no key is pressed within 4 seconds, the system will revert back to the Edit Access screen. Since there is no Enter key and the code password length is not fixed, you must wait for the 4-second timeout after you finish entering your new code. 4 seconds after entering the new User 2 code, the system will switch to the Re-enter Access Code menu and prompt you to verify the new code by re-entering it. If the 2 entries do not match, the system will display Code Mismatch and return to the Reset Access Code menu after a 4-second pause. After the new user code has been successfully entered and verified, the system will open the Code Saved menu. This feature allows the status of the newly stored access code's user to be assigned to either user or master status. Each time the numeral 1 key is pressed, the Code Saved menu screen will alternate between displaying user and master. User number 1 always has master's status. Press the numeral 0 key to return to the Edit Access menu. Press numeral 0 or wait 10 seconds to exit the access menus. The MScope's ideal group of settings may change with different users' individual preferences or in different security applications. The MScope can store 3 separate groups of settings under the headings of User Presets 1, 2, and 3. These correspond to numeral keys 7, 8, and 9 respectively. A fourth group of settings, called the Factory Presets, corresponds to the numeral 6 key. To configure the MScope to use any of these 4 preset groups, simply press the corresponding numeral key when the MScope is in normal operating mode. For example, pressing the numeral 8 key will set the MScope to the configuration stored in User Preset 2. When you receive your MScope, presets 1, 2, and 3, and the FP factory preset will be saved to the following levels. Before using the MScope in any application, all target types and sizes of interest should be passed through the MScope to properly select the appropriate sensitivity settings. To assign a group of settings to one of the user presets, adjust all of the MScope's variables as discussed in the preceding instructions, and then press and hold the corresponding numeral key for at least 1 second to store the settings. This is similar to the way most car radio presets are stored. Please note that the factory presets cannot be changed. If the MScope is in password-protected access-enabled mode, the system will prompt the operator to enter in their password or access code. Changing the values in any of the 3 user presets while the unit is in access-enabled mode requires a master-level access code.